moment water shatters glass doors of Hong Kong hotel. Footage posted on social media showed the moment a surge of water shattered the glass doors of a beachfront luxury hotel in Hong Kong as Typhoon Ragasa battered the region. One person was swept off their feet as water flooded the hotel. Fullerton Ocean Park Hotel confirmed in a statement that there were no injuries. The super typhoon did not make landfall in Hong Kong, but the storm left 62 people injured and brought violent winds and rain as it passed nearby. Australian film altered in China to make gay couple straight. An Australian film that was digitally altered to change a same-sex couple to a heterosexual one has drawn backlash from moviegoers in China. Together, a horror film starring Dave Franco and Alison Brie was shown in selected Chinese cinemas in advanced screenings on the 12th of September. Cinemagoers later realized some scenes had been modified after screenshots showing the original scenes went viral online. The film was due to be publicly released on the 19th of September, but as of Thursday has yet to be aired in cinemas. Over 1,000 children fall ill from free school lunches in Indonesia. More than 1,000 children have fallen ill from free school lunches in Indonesia this week, according to authorities, the latest in a string of mass food poisoning events linked to President Prabowo Subianto's multi-billion-dollar nutritious meals program. Uin Srihotima, head of West Java's Saiponker Community Health Center, told BBC Indonesia that the total number of poisoning victims recorded between Monday and Wednesday had reached 1,074. It follows the poisoning of 800 students last week in West Java and Central Sulawesi provinces. But a spate of mass food poisoning incidents has led non-governmental organizations to call for authorities to suspend the program due to health concerns. Super typhoon hits Philippines as thousands evacuate. A super typhoon that caused thousands to be evacuated in the Philippines has slightly weakened, according to the country's Weather Bureau. Super Typhoon Ragasa made landfall over Panuitan Island, one of the Babuyan Islands in the Philippines' northern Cagayan province, at 15 o'clock local time, 8 o'clock GMT, Monday. Ragasa, packing 285 kilometers (h. 177 miles per hour) wind gusts, is expected to barrel west toward southern China. Despite its small change in intensity, it still brings a high risk of life-threatening storm surge, with peak heights exceeding 10 feet. The Philippine Weather Bureau said authorities have warned of widespread flooding and landslides and damage to homes and infrastructure. Schools and government offices in large parts of the country, including in the capital Manila, have been shut. The remote Batons or Babuyan Islands, where Ragasa made landfall, are home to about 20,000 people, many of whom live in poverty. On one of the islands, Kalan, Information Officer Herbert Singun told Agence France Presse, at FP, chunks of a school roof had been ripped off, landing on an evacuation center about 30 meters away, causing one minor injury. "Can you see those coconut trees swaying in the distance?" he asked during a video call. "There were 8 of them before. Now only 4 are still standing." That goes to show how strong this typhoon is. The islands lie about 740 kilometers, 460 miles, of Taiwan, where nearly 300 people have been evacuated from Hualien, a county in the east. Ragasa is not expected to hit Taiwan directly, but is set to drench the island's east coast with heavy rains. Forest areas and nature trails across southern and eastern Taiwan have been closed since early Monday, while some ferry services have also been suspended. A super typhoon is the equivalent to a Category 5 hurricane. Guard and 13 inmates killed in Ecuador prison fight. Police say 13 inmates and 1 prison guard have been killed, and another 14 people injured in clashes between rival gangs in a jail in Ecuador. People living near the prison in the southwestern city of Machala reported hearing explosions and shots in the early hours of Monday local time. Police Chief William Cale said an unknown number of prisoners had escaped during the incident, but 13 have so far been recaptured. Deadly prison clashes and riots are not uncommon in Ecuador, with gangs often targeting members of rival groups. Police blamed members of a criminal gang, calling itself Los Lobos Box, for Monday's violence. The gang has not commented on the incident. "My 3 boys starved to death. I hope angels bring them home," says Afghan mother. Gusts of wind blew dust up off the ground as Gulam Mohidin and his wife Naza walked towards the graveyard where all their children are buried. "They showed us the graves of the 3 boys they lost in the past 2 years. 1-year-old Ramat, 7-month-old Khotan, and most recently, 3-month-old Faisal Ahmad. All three suffered from malnutrition, say Gulam and Nazo. Can you imagine how painful it's been for me to lose 3 children? One minute there's a baby in your arms, the next minute they are empty, says Nazo. I hope every day that angels would somehow put my babies back in our home. 3 million children in peril. There are days the couple go without food. They break walnut shells for a living in the Shai-Dei settlement just outside the city of Herat in western Afghanistan, and receive no help from the Taliban government or from GOs. Watching helplessly as my children cried out of hunger, it felt like my body was erupting in flames. It felt like someone was cutting me into half with a saw from my head to my feet, said Gulam. The deaths of their children are not recorded anywhere, but it's evidence of a silent wave of mortality engulfing Afghanistan's youngest, as the country is pushed into what the UN calls an unprecedented crisis of hunger. Philippines anti-corruption protests turn violent. Police and anti-corruption protesters clashed on the streets of the Philippines' capital Manila on Sunday, with videos showing a number of demonstrators being detained. The protesters allege funds assigned to flood control projects have been mismanaged. An unusually fierce monsoon has derailed daily life more than ever in the Southeast Asian nation. A swell of anger has been seen on TikTok, Facebook and X, where Filipinos are venting against lawmakers and construction tycoons, who they allege win contracts for ghost projects that never materialize. Starmer confirms formal UK recognition of Palestinian state. Sir Keir Starmer has announced the UK's recognition of a Palestinian state, in what represents a significant change in government policy. In a video statement on X, the Prime Minister said, "In the face of the growing horror in the Middle East, we are acting to keep alive the possibility of peace and a two-state solution." Australia and Canada also announced formal recognition of the State of Palestine, with Portugal and France expected to follow. The decision has drawn fierce criticism from the Israeli government, families of hostages held in Gaza and some conservatives. Recognition would endanger our existence and serve as absurd reward for terrorism, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said. NATO intercepts Russian warplanes violating Estonian airspace. 3 Russian warplanes that violated Estonian airspace have been intercepted by NATO, the military alliance has said. Estonia's foreign ministry in Tallinn condemned the incursion as brazen. It said 3 Russian MiG-31 fighter jets entered the airspace of a NATO member without permission and remained there for a total of 12 minutes on Friday over the Gulf of Finland. NATO spokesperson Alison Hart said the military alliance responded immediately and intercepted the Russian aircraft, calling it yet another example of reckless Russian behavior and NATO's ability to respond. She gave no further details. The Russian military has not publicly commented on the issue. Trump adds $100,000 fee for skilled worker visa applicants. U.S. President Donald Trump has signed an executive order that will add a $100,000, £74,000, annual fee for applicants to the H-1B visa program for skilled foreign workers. Trump's order mentions abuse of the program and will restrict entry unless payment is made. Critics have long argued that H-1Bs undercut the American workforce, while supporters, including billionaire Elon Musk, argue it allows the U.S. to attract top talent from around the world. In another order, Trump set up a new gold card to fast-track visas for certain immigrants, in exchange for fees starting at £1 million. Trump's order is due to come into force on the 21st of September. It would only apply to new requests, but companies would have to pay the same amount for each applicant for 6 years, U.S. Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick said. U.S. forces strike third alleged drug vessel killing 3, Trump says. President Donald Trump has said U.S. forces carried out a lethal kinetic strike on a vessel which he said was trafficking drugs, and the attack killed 3 male narco-terrorists on board. Trump said he ordered the attack on the boat, which was in the U.S. Southern Command's area of responsibility, after U.S. intelligence confirmed it was trafficking drugs. It was the third such strike on alleged drug boats in recent weeks.